Welcome to the next session of Laplace transform. In previous session, we have seen two properties, namely first shifting theorem and multiplication by t. In this session, we are going to see the property division by t. If some function f of t divided by some t, then Laplace of such function is taken as the Laplace of f of t is integrated with the limits s and infinity with respect to s. That is, if Laplace of f of t is denoted by phi of s, then Laplace of f of t which is divided by t, then the effect of this division by t on second side is integrated in the limits s and infinity with respect to s. So this is the effect of property division by t. If division by t square is there, then there are two integrals of phi of s with respect to s in the same limits. Now let's see few examples on this. So you can see here Laplace of sin t upon t. So here function is nothing but sin t. We neglect 1 by t for a moment. So function is a sin t. We take Laplace of such function, that is Laplace of sin t. We know it is in standard form and its Laplace is nothing but 1 upon s square plus 1, because value of a is 1 here. Laplace of sin at is a upon s square plus a square. So here a is 1. Now using the current property, if we divide this sin t by single t, then as per the property it says that 1 upon s square plus 1 is integrated from s to infinity with respect to s, and we know its integral is nothing but tan inverse of s in the limits s and infinity. So when we put upper limit s as infinity, it gives us tan inverse infinity, which is pi by 2, minus s is replaced by lower limit s, and that's why as it is. Either leave it as it is, or we know pi by 2 minus tan inverse is nothing but cot inverse of s. So this way the effect of division by t can be given as an integral with the limits s and infinity. We'll see one more here. Here if we neglect 1 by t for a moment, remain function which is not a property is nothing but sin square 2t. We know that sin square 2t is not in standard form because it's a product of two functions sin 2t two times. But if we write it in the form of half of 1 minus cos 4t using trigonometric identities, we know Laplace of 1 is known to us and Laplace of cos 4t is also known to us. So let's apply Laplace on both sides. So Laplace of sin square 2t is nothing but half of Laplace of 1 minus cos 4t. Also we have seen that using linearity property, Laplace of subtraction of two functions is nothing but the subtraction of Laplaces, right? So it is nothing but Laplace of individual function. So Laplace of 1 is 1 by s, and Laplace of cos 4t is s upon s square plus a square. A value is 4 here, that's why 16. Now this is what Laplace of sin square 2t. Now we will attach 1 by t to the left side. Therefore Laplace of sin square 2t upon t, its effect on second side is what? It is integrated from s to infinity. This is half of 1 by s minus s upon s square plus 16 with respect to s. Now have half outside as constant. Integral of 1 by s is a log s minus integral of s upon s square plus 16. You can see denominator's derivative is 2s, so 2 is missing at numerator, so we can half of log of denominator with the limits s and infinity. So when we rewrite in proper way, because when we apply limits here at this moment, it will be then log infinity minus of log infinity, that will be not defined form. So before putting limits, we rewrite them into proper format, that is log of s minus log of this half of log of bracket can be taken as log of root of bracket. This power can be taken as bracket raised to half. This half can be taken as log of bracket x square plus 16 whole raised to half. and whole raised to half is nothing but root of that s square plus 16 in the limits s and infinity. So this is something log a minus log b form. This we can write as half of log of a upon b. That's why s upon root s square plus 16 with the limits s and infinity. Okay. When we put upper limit s as infinity, again it is indeterminate form, that is log of infinity upon infinity. So we arrange the terms in this way. If we take s from the denominator outside, so from root quantity s square we are taking common, so outside s will be there, whereas inside it we will have 1 plus 16 upon s square, and still limits are pending, that is s to infinity, so that we can cancel s and s here. So remaining part is simply half of log of 1 upon root 1 plus 16 upon s square. Still limits are pending, s and infinity. Now when we apply s as infinity, when s as infinity, you can see 16 upon infinity gives us 0. And that's why root quantity remains 1 only. So 1 upon 1 is 1. So log of 1, that's why 0. So upper limit value is 0. Minus, now s is replaced by s, so term as it is. So we'll write this form of the term, that is minus half of log of s upon root s square plus 16. Okay, to remove this minus sign, we know the property that log of a upon b is minus of log of b upon a. So to consume this minus sign, we can write same thing as half of log of a upon b becomes then b upon a. So s square plus 16 under root is at numerator now, and s is at denominator. So this is the final answer for Laplace of sine square 2t upon t. So this way the effect of division by t is nothing but the integral of phi of s with the limits s and infinity with respect to s. We'll have a few more examples. Example number 3, find the Laplace of sine at upon t, and second part is, does the Laplace of f of t, which is cos at upon t, exists? So let's go for first part. You can see the formula available on right side. So here 1 by t is a property. 1 by t is a property in given function. So we will leave it for a moment. Therefore remaining function which is not a property is our starting point. That's why sine at is our starting point. So let's take Laplace of sine at, because it is in standard form, its Laplace is known to us. So which is a upon s square plus a square. Now let's attach 1 by t on left side. So you can see slowly we are getting our original function given in the example on left side, whereas the right side is our required answer, and left side is a function of t and right side is a function of s. T and s should not be seen together. Therefore division by t's effect on right side is integrated a upon s square plus a square ds. So this is very standard formula. Its integral is tan inverse of s upon a, s to infinity. Many times students will write here 1 upon a. See here, if numerator is other than the required constant a, that time you have to multiply and divide. That's why 1 by a will come. Here a is already available at numerator, so there is no 1 by a outside here. It is simply tan inverse of s by a. When we put upper limit, we get tan inverse infinity, which is pi by 2, and s is s, that's why the term as it is tan inverse of s upon a for lower limit. Moreover, we can write this as cot inverse of s by a. So this is the answer for first part. Secondly, we are asked to find out, or rather verify whether Laplace of this function exists or not. So let's try it out. So 1 by t is a property here. So we start with the cos at. Laplace of cos at, we know it is s upon s square plus a square. Now take Laplace of cos at upon t. So we are attaching 1 by t property on left side. So its effect on right side, which is integral from s to infinity s upon s square plus a square ds. Now please note the difference that integration of this type and integration of this type. What is the difference in the integrand? Everything is same, only numerator is constant here, that's why integral is tan inverse. Here numerator is s, which is variable. We can say it is a derivative of denominator with adjustments with some constants. Therefore integral of such quantity is nothing but half of log of denominator, that is s square plus a square. That's it. Because derivative of denominator is 2s, so 2 is missing here, so we are multiplying by 2 and we are dividing by 2. So log of s square plus a square in the limits s and infinity. But not like previous example, we have two terms here in subtraction. This is the single term of log, we cannot adjust it for the upper limit infinity. That's why as s tends to infinity, this function goes to not defined form. Therefore as s tends to infinity, the Laplace of cos at does not exist, obviously, because log of infinity is not defined, and so we write this does not exist. So make it very clear that whenever log terms are there, they should be in subtraction form so that we can have their defined value for the limits. Let's move to next example. Find the Laplace of cos at minus cos bt upon t. So here again 1 by t is a property. Leave it for a moment. Only numerator term is our starting point. F of t is a cos at minus cos bt. So they are in standard form. So we can take a Laplace of f of t. Why I am calling them as standard form? Because their Laplaces are known. Otherwise we need to convert them into standard form and then we take the Laplace. We have already seen the list of standard formulae in our first lecture. Therefore Laplace of cos at is s upon s square plus a square. If this cos at is a sin at, then we will have a upon s square plus a square. That is the difference between sin and cos. Similarly here cos bt uses s upon s square plus b square. So Laplace of function is over. Let's attach t on left side. So numerator is cos at minus cos bt upon t. So once t is attached on left side, right side is integrated. S upon s square plus a square, s upon s square plus b square with respect to s. Therefore again we are missing 2 here because denominator's derivative is a 2s. So only numerator s we have, so we multiply and divide. So we will have half here. Integral of first term is log of denominator, that is s square plus a square. Integration of second term is log of s square plus b square. Limits are still pending, s and infinity. Okay, so as earlier said, we got the difference between two logs, so we can adjust them and we know the upper limit value gives us 0. If we write them in this way, that is log of s square plus a square, s square plus b square and s to infinity. Now when we take s square outside, it will get cancelled and numerator becomes 1 plus a square by s square, denominator is 1 plus b square by s square. So with the cancellation we can write the same thing as this way. We have taken s square common from both numerator and denominator and cancelled. So we get this situation. Now when we apply the limits, upper limit infinity, so we get a square upon infinity and b square upon infinity, which is 0. That's why it remains only 1 and log of 1 is 0. Hence the upper limit value is 0. Minus lower limit, so minus half, and s is replaced by lower limit s. That's why the term as it is. Therefore we write in this way, s square plus a square upon s square plus b square. Again, like previous example, to consume this minus sign, we can rewrite this log of a upon b as b upon a. That's why s square plus b square now at numerator and s square plus a square at a denominator. So this is the answer for given function and its Laplace. Similar type of example, only the functions are in product form. So let's see how it goes. This is the combination of two properties. So here, if we write given function this way, 1 by t, hyperbolic cos 2t is nothing but e raised to 2t plus e raised to minus 2t upon 2 and sin 2t. Why this is so? Because we don't have any formula for sin a and cos hb. We have sin a sin b or sin a cos b or cos a cos b, but not for sin a and cos hyperbolic cos b. So instead we write hyperbolic function into exponential. So this is the clue. Whenever you get hyperbolic function in product with other functions, please write them into exponential form because it will work as a shifting theorem. So altogether we can write this as half of e raised to 2t sin 2t plus e raised to minus 2t sin 2t whole divided by t. This is our actual function. So you can see 1 by t is nothing but the property, whereas e raised to 2t is multiplied to the function, and here also e raised to minus 2t is multiplied to the function. It will work as first shifting theorem. Here exponential terms and division by t, these two are the properties. So remain function is the sin 2t only. So we start with sin 2t. So Laplace of sin 2t, we know it is a upon s square plus a square, that is 4. Now attach e raised to 2t into sin 2t. So we know this is the first shifting theorem's effect. What is first shifting theorem? When exponential is attached to the function as e raised to at, then we take Laplace of function, which is a 2 upon s square plus 4, and then every s is replaced by s minus a. Value of a is 2 here, that's why every s from the above step will be replaced by s minus 2. So it is s minus 2 square plus 4. See the effect, every s is replaced by s minus 2 due to exponential. This is one thing. Now we attach e raised to minus 2t to the left side because of requirement, and now since value of a is minus 2, now every s is replaced by s plus 2 using shifting theorem. This is the difference between e raised to 8 and e raised to minus 2. We call it 2. Okay, and we call it, say, equation A. So taking Laplace transform of equation A and putting 1 and 2 all together, we get Laplace of given function, say f of t, is half of, now you can see here this is division by t, its effect on second side is integral from s to infinity of what? Of Laplace of numerator. So Laplace of numerator we have already calculated as equation 1 and 2. So Laplace of e raised to 2t sin 2t is nothing but 2 upon s minus 2 square plus 4 plus Laplace of e raised to minus 2t into sin 2t is equation number 2, that is 2 upon s plus 2 square plus 4. So here we used exponential form as first shifting theorem, whereas division by t, its effect is integral from s to infinity. So it is again the same type, that is a upon x square plus a square. So we know that its integral is tan inverse. Make it very clear that if it is of the form a upon x square plus a square, integral of such quantity is tan inverse of x upon a, and if this numerator is x or any variable, then it goes to log. Okay, so here the case is tan inverse of s minus 2 divided by 2 plus tan inverse of s plus 2 divided by 2, because a value is 2 here, in the limits s and infinity. When we put s as infinity, this is tan inverse of infinity plus tan inverse of infinity. We know that tan inverse of infinity is pi by 2. So upper limit gives us pi by 2 plus pi by 2. Whereas minus lower limit, s remains as it is. That is tan inverse of s minus 2 upon 2 plus tan inverse of s plus 2 upon 2. This is a lower limit, that's why we may put extra bracket here, and then we have whole bracket closed here. Okay, now we will simplify this quantity separately. So this goes to half of pi by 2 plus pi by 2 is a pi minus. This is something tan inverse A plus tan inverse B form. So we know it is nothing but a tan inverse of A plus B. That's why s minus 2 upon 2 plus s plus 2 upon 2 upon whole upon 1 minus AB. So 1 upon s minus 2 by 2 into s plus 2 by 2. Okay, so let's simplify this. This goes to half of pi minus tan inverse. Now numerator is, denominators are same, that's why numerators are added. So s minus 2 plus s plus 2, so 2 gets cancelled. Numerator is only 2s upon 2, and that's why s only. Whereas denominator is in product form, that's why 1 minus, this is s minus 2 into s plus 2 is s square minus 2 square, that is 4, whole divided by 4. Altogether it gives us half of pi minus tan inverse of 4s upon 4 minus s square plus 4, that's why 8 minus s square, and this is the required answer. Okay, so this way division by t works as a property.